Hey everyone, in the news this week. In Florida, 15 people were injured after a passenger train collided with a fire engine, although I guess at least the fire engine was there to put out the blaze, so swings and roundabouts really. There was also another accident after a plane crashed in Toronto. Many were quick to blame DEI policies and blame an all-female flight crew for the cause of the accident, which is a very ignorant thing to say because just look at how the plane landed upside down. Clearly the cause of the accident was DEI policies resulting in an inexperienced all-Australian flight crew that didn't realise that they have to turn the plane over when you fly north. In England, there were new recycling plans announced, and apparently all houses will be given 4 separate bins. This is being portrayed as an environmental issue, although I don't think the policy is being implemented for anything other than just raising money, when they find people for getting them mixed up in whatever the day of the week it is. Personally speaking, I always try my best with recycling. Next door barely manages anything more than milk bottles and some Amazon boxes, whereas I always make sure my recycling bin is filled to the brim with beer cans and wine bottles to be recycled. Meanwhile, over the border in Wales, there's talk that the government's going to be banning greyhound racing, presumably by putting up yet more 20-mile-per-hour signs and speed cameras. Crossing the pond, in the US, it was revealed this week that until the 1970s, the code to launch the nuclear missiles was in fact just 12 zeros in a row, the default setting, although it's unclear how many times Joe Biden somehow still managed to forget that number. Also in the US, there were fresh revelations from the DOGE group. Apparently last year, FEMA spent $59 million in luxury hotels in New York so that the city's politicians could downplay the scale of the immigration crisis. This, of course, was at the same time as FEMA was claiming there wasn't enough money to help hurricane victims, and it was instructing its workers to actively avoid giving out aid in places where they might not vote for Kamala Harris. Also, Health and Human Services were forced to cancel $180 million worth of contracts that were specifically covering, quote, administrative affairs, i.e. not paying for medicine or doctors' salaries. One line item in those contracts included $168,000 on an exhibit to glorify Anthony Fauci, and for that kind of money it may as well have been Fauci alongside a golden calf and presumably Barack Obama dressed up to look like Moses coming down from the mountain proclaiming, quote, "Thou shalt not stand within 6 feet of someone unless you pay $100 to Pfizer first." And finally, it was revealed that the cost cutting is finally hitting a limit where the government is literally unable to lay off workers fast enough. It seems that in the 1950s, the US government started processing exit paperwork and then shipping it by road and storing it 230 feet underground in a former limestone mine in Pennsylvania. And thus, the rate at which the government can eliminate federal employees is literally limited by the speed of the lift shaft in and out of said mine. At this point, the situation is beyond a farce, although it reminds me of that old joke. What do you get if you drop a piano down a mine shaft? And the answer is A flat minor, as compared to if you drop it onto a military base, in which case it's A flat major. Anyway, see you next week. If you like these, click subscribe. Bye.